lesson. Hiya. So, ang first lesson natin for this sem is yung kinematics in one dimension. But before we go to this, let's just have some review on yung mga standard units na gagamitin natin sa buong subject natin and even in the future sa mga subject ninyo sa engineering, you'll be dealing with them. So, unahin na natin yun sa measurements. Okay? So, yung sa measurements, kasi napaka-importante ng measurements sa engineering, okay? Kasi lalo na kung kayo bilang mga engineer, hindi naman pwedeng mag-rely lang kayo sa napaka-vague na information. So, numbers are very important, particularly units. Kaya pag pinag-aaralan natin ang physics, nagsisimula tayo lagi sa measurements, including scalar and vector. Kasi ang scalar and vector, kung wala siyang units, hindi sila pwedeng tawaging scalar or vector. So example, if I write 2, sinulat ko lang ang 2 and I ask you, is this a scalar quantity or vector quantity? Of course, hindi siya scalar at saka hindi siya vector. Lalo na hindi siya vector. Bakit siya hindi nagiging scalar quantity? Kasi wala siyang unit. Ang unit ay isang importanteng part ng isang quantity. Kaya hindi mo siya ma-identify kung anong klaseng quantity yon kung wala siyang unit, which is under measurements. So, halimbawa, sinabi ko 2 meters, ayan. So, nagiging ng complete yung information. So, pwede na natin sabihin na ito ay isang, let's say, a vector, scalar quantity. Kung lalagyan natin siya ng direction, let's say 2 meters east, ayan. So, nagiging complete lalo yung information. So, nagiging na siyang vector. Kasi tandaan ninyo, ang pagkakaiba ng vector sa scalar, ang scalar ay wala siyang direction, ang vector ay meron siyang direction at saka magnitude. Ang scalar ay puro lang siya magnitude. Okay, importante yon. Ang scalar quantity, mostly ay puro lang siya magnitude. Ang vector, meron siyang magnitude. At the same time, meron din siyang direction. Okay, magnitude and direction. Okay, now let's go to yung measurements. Sa mga international ng measurement, so meron tayong dalawang sinusundan, yung tinatawag na English at saka SI. So yung SI yung tinatawag na metric. So meron tayong mga basic units. So halimbawa, time, ano ang English unit ng time? Standard. Standard ang pinag-usapan natin. So, ang standard niya ay pareho silang seconds. Okay? How about length? Okay? Ano ang standard unit ng length? In SI. Okay, last. So, what do you think? Okay, Leon, you were... Okay, Leon, you are correct. That is meter. So that's the standard. Daniel, cm is under SI, but that's the standard unit that we are considering. Pero it's still part of SI. Meron tayong tinatawag na CGS, yung centimeter, gram, second unit. Pero mas ano tayo dun sa SI na metric system na meter yung standard. Okay? So how about yun sa English? Yes, Alexandre. Metric system. Yeah. Okay, so tama ka, John. So it is foot. Okay, so foot yung ating sa English. Ano pa ba? How about mass? Okay, so what is the SI for mass? Okay, so it is actually not grams, it is kilograms. So tama? At least you're familiar. Okay, how about in English? Okay. So dito tayo medyo it's a common knowledge of students from high school that the English unit of mass is pounds. Kasi ang alam natin na pag ang 1 kilogram daw ay equal siya sa 2.2 pounds. Tama ba? That's why they were thinking that since mass na kilogram is equated to pounds, it is assumed that pounds, it is a unit of mass. Assumed, as I say. Pero class, ang pounds ay hindi siya unit ng mass, it's a unit of force. Na ang counterpart niya sa metric is Newton. Okay? It is Newton. Ang counterpart ng pounds because pounds is the unit of force. Okay, Carl. Nag-i-echo ako. Okay? Ano ang... it starts with S. So, okay? Ang English unit ng mass is actually a slug. Not familiar with that stone, Alexandre. Stone. We've been using slug. Kasi ang 1 pound is equal to slug foot per second square. While Newton is kilogram meter per second square. So naalala niyo yung unit ng weight. So weight is mass times gravity. Tama ba? At yung mass, ito yon. And weight is the magnitude of the force. And yung grams, yung gravity, di ba yung ng gravity is this one? Di ba ang gravitational force ng Earth is 9.8 meters per second squared. In English, it's 32.2 feet per second squared. Okay? Ayan. So at least ito yung pinaka basic yung tatlo. So pag pinagsama-sama mo 'yan, nagko-combine ka, nakakabuo ka ng mga bagong units. So halimbawa, yung M, gawin nating meter squared, si ba nagiging siyang unit ng area. Pag meter cube naman, so nagiging siyang unit ng volume. Pag meters per second, di ba nagiging siyang unit ng velocity and speed. Pag meter per second squared, nagiging unit siya ng acceleration. So ito ay napaka-importante. Pag naman Newton over meter, so nagiging naman siyang unit ng Newton per meter. Mali. Newton meter lang pala. Newton meter. So nagiging unit siya ng energy or work. Pag naman Newton per meter squared, so nagiging siyang unit ng pressure o Pascal. So, kaya importante yung tatlong ito, time, length, and mass, kasi lahat halos ng ibang units is nadiderive sila dito sa tatlong to. Siyempre, maliban dun sa chemistry, yung mga kandela, yung mga electric charge, yung mga moles, yung mga ganyan. So, ibang units naman sila. Pero ito yung pinaka-basic na tatlo. Okay? So, any question?
Wala naman po.
Okay, so trivia lang. Bakit ang pound, ang symbol niya ay LB, wala namang LB sa pound?
From the term po na libras po.
Okay, so tama ka, Alexandre. Kasi noong unang panahon, ang ginagamit nila ay pangtimbang ay yung zodiac sign na Libra. So that's why it's called LB. Okay, kaya. Okay, so that is for scalar quantity. At least in terms of length, how do we convert? Okay, ang pinaka-basic sa length, okay, sabi nila ito ang pinaka-accurate. Ang pinaka-accurate is 1 inch is equal to 2.54 cm. So that is the most accurate conversion ng English to SI, particularly in terms of length. If you will check your calculator, meron din tayong mga conversions dyan. Kung meron, makikita yung calculator nito dito. Dyan yung sila makikita. So, yan, may calorie to joule, joule to calorie, Fahrenheit to Celsius, and so on. So, meron din dyan mile to kilometer. So, if you have the cover of your calcu, you can check some unit conversions. At the same time, meron tayong mga constants. So, later, isasasabihin ko naman sa inyo kung ano yung mga constants na gagamitin natin dito. If you're curious, yung unang tatlo ay actually yung mass ng proton, neutron, and electron. And then the others, yung mga atmosphere, we have the gravitational force, and so on. Okay? So, you have the cover of your calcu para naman magamit nyo yung calcu nyo na meron siyang sariling conversion factors. Okay. So, let's continue. Ayan. So, tapos na tayo sa measurement. So, punta ako ng madalian lang sa vectors. Okay, class. Ang vectors at saka scalar quantity ay ang difference nila. Ang scalar ay puro lang siya magnitude, of course, with the corresponding unit. And then yung vector ay may magnitude na siya at meron pa siyang direction. So, ang assumption lagi natin na if ang direction is pakanan or pataas, right or upward, the symbol is assumed to be positive. So, kung naman ang symbol ay pakaliwa or pababa, so it is assumed na yung symbol na negative, yun yung assumption natin. Na pagpakanan, pataas, positive, pagpakaliwa or pababa, negative. So kung drawing natin yung north, east, west, south, tama ba ako? News. Ayan. So kasi 'di ba sa mathematics yung XY axis, 'di ba yung north ay puro sila positive. Yung pakanan, 'di ba yung mga positive x. Tapos yung sa north dito, yung pataas, puro positive y. So dito naman sa negative x, so puro sila negative. Tapos dito naman ay puro sila negative y. Kaya yun na lang ang sinusundan natin. Na pag yung quantity ay pataas siya, it is assumed to be positive. Pag naman pakaliwa siya, it's negative and so on. Okay? So yun na yung kailangan natin tandaan or isipin na assumption. Kasi pagdating natin sa kinematics, yun. May mga examples tayo na nagpapalitan sila na nag-iiba sila ng direction. So bigla silang babalik or bigla silang liliko and so on. Okay, so yan yung unang assumption natin. Okay. Okay, now let's start with our lesson proper. So kung wala na kayong, may question ba? Wala. Sige. So, let's continue. So, yung kinematics in one dimension, ito ang unang lesson natin. So, ano bang ibig sabihin ng kinematics in one dimension? Ayan. So, based ito sa example na to, it is considered one dimension kasi it only tackles one particular dimension or one particular direction. Sorry. Ano ba tawag? Yan, dimension. In this case, the dimension is purely horizontal. So, kung titignan ninyo at time is equal to 0, the particle, which is the dot, is at 1 meter positive. So, if this is the number line, kung number line yan, so yung center niya is 0. So, we assume na nandito yung reference natin na 0 at yung measurement na pakanan ay puro sila positive at lahat ng measurement pakaliwa ay puro sila negative. So, that means at initial time na 0, okay, yung particle natin ay nasa position na 1 meter. Okay, positive 1 meter. Okay, after 1 second, nag-travel siya. So, nandito na siya malapit sa 3 meters. Positive 3 meters. Okay, after 2 seconds. So yung particle natin ay nandito siya sa malapit sa 4 meters, positive. Pero after 3 seconds, nakabalik na pala siya at nasa position siya na positive 2. And then 4 seconds, sa 4 seconds na motion niya, nandito na siya sa negative 1 meter. So one dimension kasi, we only deal with one particular dimension. So in this example, it's the horizontal dimension o the x-axis. Ayan. Okay. So this is the outline. So we are to discuss what position, distance, and displacement are, average speed and average velocity, instantaneous velocity, the acceleration, motion with constant acceleration, and then the application of the equations of motion, and then yung freely falling objects. Okay, so we'll start with, of course, position and displacement. Okay, class. This one is very, very important kasi sa mga analysis natin, normally, kayo ang magsiset ng position. Okay, class. Pag dinidiscuss ang position, lagi tayong pupunta dun sa number line or doon sa x and y axis ninyo sa geometry. Diba? Yung x and y axis. Okay. Ang position kasi ay hindi mo pwedeng sabihin or i-describe yung position ng isang particle or object kung wala kang reference. So, ang reference natin dito, let's say dito sa horizontal number line, is always the center na sinatet natin siyang 0. Sa x and y axis naman, ang reference natin lagi ay yung origin. So, halimbawa, sinabi ko, ano ang position ng point P? Ano ang position ng point P? So, hindi natin pwedeng i-describe yung position ng point P kung wala tayong reference. Okay? So, halimbawa, ang reference ito is 1, 2, 1, 2. Ayan. So, 1, 2, okay, 1, 2. So, if I'll ask you, what's the position of point P? Okay, so di ba ang nauna is x, so that is 2, 2. So, the position of point P is 2, 2. So, that is how we describe position. So, ang reference natin lagi, meron tayo laging reference. So, halimbawa, meron tayong nakatayong tao dito sa, ayan, tapos may poste, may lamp. Ikaw mo na mag-drawing. Ayan. Ayan. So, if I'll ask you, what is the position of the person? Since wala naman tayong sinet na reference, so it's very difficult to describe the position of the person. Pero pag sinabi natin ang difference nila ay 1 meter. Ayan. So if I'll ask you, what is the position of the person? So pwede yung sabihin, sir, it is 1 meter to the left of the post. Okay, or pwede yung sabihin, in reference to the post, the position of the person is negative 1 meter. Do you get what I mean? Ayan. So, in describing the position, we need a reference. So, in this case, ayan. So, minsan kayo kasi ang magsiset ng reference. Lalo na pag nag-solve na tayo ng application, dinidescribe kasi natin yung motion ng bagay, kaya kayo ang bahala kung ano ang magiging reference ninyo. It's okay. Kahit alin. Kasi ang sagot ay hindi naman magbabago. So, halimbawa, ang reference natin sa solution is dito, isi-set natin to ng 0. So, kung sinet natin 0 to, sasabihin natin 0 siya. At pag dinescribe naman natin ng position ng post, sasabihin natin is 1 meter east of the person. Pag ito naman ang sinet nating reference, ito naman ay nagiging negative 1. Okay, pero wala namang kaso kung hindi kayo pare-pareho ng reference. Kasi ang sagot ay laging pareho lang. Kahit alin pang reference yung ginamit ninyo. Okay? So, yan yung sa position. May question? May question? Ayan. Okay, kung may question kayo, you type a message or you speak there. Okay, next. Ayan. Sabi dyan, before describing motion, you must set up a coordinate system. Define an origin and a positive direction. So the distance is the total length to travel. So if you drive from your house to the grocery store and back, and you have covered the distance of 8.6 miles. Okay, so displacement is the change in position. If you drive from your house to the grocery store and then to your friend's house, your displacement is 2.1 meters. So based on this example, and the distance you have traveled is 10.7 miles. Okay, so let me discuss what displacement, what is the difference between the two. Okay, so if I have a particle at point A and then a particle at point B, meron dalawang gagawin yung motion niya from point A to point B. Ayan. Point A to point B. So meron dalawang paraan para makapunta sa point B from point A. So let's say let's have path 1 and path 2. Ayan. So one of them is considered a distance and the other is considered a displacement. Okay, so by definition, ang distance is yung total path taken by the particle from one position to the other position. Okay, one position to the other position. So that means this could be a distance. Ayan, ito ay distance. Ayan, okay? And then yung displacement is the direct path from the first position going to the second position. So that's the direct path. So that is the shortest path. Okay, so that means your reference is your starting point and then your final point will be the last point. Okay, so that will be the point na kung saan i-measure mo yung travel mo directly to the initial point or dun sa starting point. So that's why ito ang displacement at ito naman yung distance. Pero pwede namang pareho ang distance at saka displacement provided na diretsong nagpunta yung object from point A to point B. Doon lang sila pwedeng magpareho ng magnitude. Okay? Doon lang sila pareho pareho ng magnitude. Kasi ang distance is total travel taken at yung displacement is yung final position in reference to the initial position. Okay? At tandaan niyo, ang distance ay isang scalar quantity at ang displacement is a vector. So that means merong direction yung displacement. Okay, so isa ring paraan para ma-identify mo daw na isang quantity ay isang vector. So dapat at any point in the path, dapat pare-pareho yung direction. So halimbawa, yung object natin ay nandito, siyempre pupunta siya sa B, ang direction niya ay paganyan. At yung halimbawa, nandito naman yung object natin at papunta pa rin siya sa B, ito. At same, di ba same sila ng direction? So therefore, we can consider this as a vector. Unlike dito, pag nandito yung point natin, ang direction niya ay paganyan. Pag nandito naman yung point natin, ang direction niya paganito. Pag nandito naman, paganyan. Iba-iba yung direction niya at any point. So that's why we cannot consider it a vector. So dapat daw, pag vector siya, at any point in the path, dapat pare-pareho yung direction. And since yung path na to, hindi pare-pareho yung direction niya, so we cannot consider it a vector. Pero dito ay vector. Kaya ang distance ay isang scalar quantity lang, at yung displacement ay isa siyang vector. Meron siyang direction. So you can describe its direction. Okay, so halimbawa, so meron akong isang swimmer. Ayan, so siyempre meron tayong pool. Merong pool. Kumari yung pool. Okay, at ang length ng pool ay 50 meters. Okay. So, nandito yung point A. So, nandito yung point B. Ayan. Okay? So, halimbawa, nandito yung starting point. Okay? Tapos, yung swimmer is, syempre, lalangoy siya papunta sa B. Tapos, babalik siya sa A, starting point. So, ang tanong, ano ang kanyang distance? traveled. What is the total distance traveled by the... Di na lang yung ating symbol. So what is the distance traveled? Okay, so the answer is, tama, 100 meters. Okay, so what is the displacement? Okay, so tama kayo. So the displacement is 0. Kasi nagbalik kasi siya sa starting point. Okay, so paano natin yun pwedeng i-describe mathematically? So, ang symbol natin ng displacement for horizontal is delta x. So that means that is the change. So that's x final minus x initial. Okay? If gagawin natin tong reference at isa-set natin siya 0, what will be x initial? Diba ang x initial natin ay 0. Okay? And next, anong final position natin? So, final position din natin ay nandito. So, what's our x final? So, it is also 0. So, therefore, nagiging siyang 0. Okay. So, what if ito naman ang ginawa nating reference? So, reference is B. Okay. So, what is x initial? Nandito siya. Ito yung reference. So, ang x initial natin ay negative 50 meters. Ano yung x final? It's also negative 50 meters. So, therefore, if you will get the difference is negative 50 minus negative 50 is still equal to 0. Okay? Sandali. Hindi ko ang delta x kasi, ang symbol natin for displacement. Displacement. Sing horizontal siya, so ito yung tinatawag nating displacement. Ayan. Yung d is the distance. So, pag horizontal is delta x, pag vertical lang ginagamit natin, nagiging siyang delta y. Pero ngayon, yung mga examples natin ay delta x lang muna sila kasi horizontal ng motion. At ang formula ng displacement ay laging x final minus x initial. Okay? X final minus x initial. Pag gagamitin nyo to, syempre, that is final position. XFF is final position minus initial position. Okay? Syempre, position ang pinag-uusapan, so kailangan mo ng reference. So, ikaw yung pipili ng reference. So, yung una, ang ginawa nating reference is yung point A. Tama ba? Point A. Yung punang example. Point A yung reference natin. So, kung ito ang reference natin, ano ang position ng swimmer initially? Eh, di ba nasa point A siya? Kaya, 0 yung sa point A. Kaya, 0 yung ating x initial. Okay, after niya mag-swimming, bumalik siya sa point A, which is our reference, at ang position doon is 0, kaya 0 pa rin siya. So, 0 minus 0 is still 0. Okay? Okay, ang ginawa ko sa B is nilipat ko lang yung reference sa B. Okay, what if ang reference natin ay B? Okay, syempre, ang initial position pa rin naman ng swimmer natin ay nasa point A. Okay, kung sa point B ang reference natin at nandito ang 0, ano ang position initially ng swimmer? Eh since nasa left siya ng B, so nagiging siyang negative 50. Okay? And then, mag-swimming siya, papunta siya ng B, bumalik siya sa A. Ano ang position final niya? It's still negative 50. Kaya naging siyang 0. Ayan. So, you need to get the hang of this kasi most of our problems, hindi ako ang magbibigay ng reference. Kayo ang gagawa ng reference. Depende sa paano nyo siya i-analyze. Okay? Wala na bang may ibang question? Ayan. So, let's proceed. Oh, sige, Jim. Ay, wala kang ta-type, Jim? What do you mean ninyo? Sige, Jim. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so now let's go to average velocity and average speed. Okay, class. So, ang symbol natin for speed ay S. At ang symbol natin for velocity ay V. Okay? S and V. Pag pinag-uusapan natin ay average, kailangan, class, maglalagay kayo ng subscript na average. Okay? Average. Ayan. Okay, pag yan ang mga symbols natin or mga signs natin, or mga symbols. Okay, ito ang average speed at average velocity. Okay, by definition, ang average speed is the total distance traveled over the total time. Ang average velocity is the displacement over the total time to cover the displacement. So, alam nyo na, since ito ay pang-scalar, ang speed ay isang scalar quantity at ang velocity ay isa siyang vector. Tandaan nyo lang, speed, that's distance over time. Ang velocity, so that is displacement over time. So, kailangan isipin nyo, ano ba yung distance, ano ba yung displacement. At ano ba yung total na kinover nung displacement at ang total time na kinover nung distance. Okay? Alright? Okay? Okay. So, let me go to the example. Ayan. So, yung swimmer natin, so let's say, natapos siya in 20 seconds. Okay, so yung total time ng pagsiswimming niya ay 20 seconds. Okay, so let's say yung total time ng pagsiswimming niya ay 20 seconds. So ano ang kanyang average speed? So, di ba? Formula is distance over time. Ano ba yung distance na kinover? Okay, distance is 100 over 20 seconds. So, therefore, the average speed is 5 meters per second. Teka, mali pa ako. 100. Bigla akong na-confuse. Tama ba? 20 meters per second.
Tama po.
Okay. Okay, so that is the average speed. Okay, now question is, what about the average velocity? Okay, what's our formula? Formula is displacement over time. So what's the displacement?
0.
0. And time is 20 seconds. So the average velocity is 0. Okay? Nakakuha ba? Speed is total distance over time. Velocity is displacement over time. Yung total na na-cover niya din yung displacement na yun, ha? Okay. Wala. O, sige. Any question? Ayan. So, yun yung ating average speed and average velocity. Distance, displacement, and time. Ayan. So, let's continue. Ayan. So, yung graphical interpretation of average velocity, the same motion plotted one-dimensionally and as an t graph. So, ayan. So, limbawa, if I'll ask you, dun sa first graph na horizontally, what is the average speed after 4 seconds? Okay, so if you will just interpret the graph, okay, dun sa ano natin, graph na yan. So what is the average speed after 4 seconds? Speed average 20 is equal to 4 seconds. So what do you think is the average speed?
$2.25 po.
Okay, 225. Okay, so first is, what's our distance?
9 meters.
Okay, so, okay. Unahin natin dito, bibilahin natin 1, 2, 3, and then babalik siya. So, that's 3 meters plus, babalik siya, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Tama ba? Mula dito, sa 1. So, magta-travel siya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, distance is 8 meters. So, therefore, average is equal to 8 meters over 4 seconds. So, the answer is 2 meters per second. Tama ba?
Tama po, tama.
Okay, sige. Next question, what about average velocity at 4 seconds? Okay, so ang tanong ay, what is the displacement? Tandaan niyo, displacement is x final minus x initial. So what's the final position? O, gamitin niyo yung graph. Yung graph. O, final position is at negative 1 meter minus, ano yung initial position? Ang initial position niya ay, tama, 1 meter. So displacement is negative 2 meters. Ayan. So kung ayaw nyo ng mathematical lagay, pwede naman siyang by observation. So nandito siya. So pumunta siya dito. So nandun yung 4 seconds. So 1, 2. And the direction is pakaliwa, kaya siya negative 2. Negative 2. Kung mathematically naman, so ano bang final position? Negative 1 meter minus, anong initial position? 1 meter. So that's negative 2 meters. Okay, so therefore, the average velocity is equal to negative 2 meters over 4 seconds. So that is negative 0.5 meters per second. Okay, ano ang ibig sabihin ng negative noon? Okay, it is moving to the left. Dahil vector ang velocity, so meron talaga siyang direction. But if the answer is positive, it is to the right. But since our answer is negative, so it's negative, it's to the left. To the left, it's negative. Okay? Okay, why don't you try it again? What about at 3 seconds? So what is the average at t is equal to 3 seconds? What is the average speed and what is the average velocity? Speed is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 over. Okay, so tama. 5. It's 5 over 3. Tama ba? It's 5 meters over 3 seconds. And then that's approximately 1.67 meters per second. And then yung velocity. Ayan. So, ano ba yung displacement natin? So, displacement over time. So, that's equal to x final minus x initial over t. So, that's equal to x final is 2 meters minus 1 meter over 3 meters. So, that's equal to 0.33 meters per second. Okay, so positive. Positive pa siya sa 3 seconds. Okay, so yung mga ganyang problem, so I can also ask you, what is the average speed and velocity from 3 seconds to 4 seconds? Okay, so I can ask you that. What's the average speed and velocity from 3 seconds to 4 seconds? So we'll only consider that. That means from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Ayan. Or 2 seconds to 4 seconds, or 1 second to 3 seconds, mga ganun ba? Kung 1 second to 3 seconds pa yung magiging initial. Wait. What you mean is What if ang papakuha ko is 1 second to 3 seconds? Okay, kung 1 second to 3 seconds, tama ka. Ang initial position nun is 3 meters. You're correct. Pag halimbawa naman, ang sinabi ko, from 2 seconds to 4 seconds, ang initial nun ay okay. Pag what if ang sinabi ko from 2 seconds to 4 seconds, ang initial nun ay magiging 2, di ba? So yung position niya nun ay initial position will be 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Okay, kung nasan ba siya at 2 seconds, di ba nasa 4 siya? Yan, nasa 4 meters. 4 meters nun yung initial. Okay lang. Medyo mahina ba boses ko? Okay. Okay, class. So, any question? This is a very important topic. Pagdating kasi natin sa instantaneous, kailangan nyo laging isipin yon, yung mga tinanong sa akin na kung ano ba yung magiging initial at this time and so on. Okay. Yung isa is wag na nating anuhin dahil yan yung lesson natin ngayon na. Okay? Yan. Ang dami natin topic na nako-cover. Oh. Let's go to instantaneous velocity and instantaneous speed. Kung nakikita nyo ang equation na yan, I think that is familiar. Very familiar. Tama ba? Limit sa Calc 1. Ayan. So this means that we evaluate the average velocity over a shorter and shorter period of time. As the time becomes infinitesimally small, we have the instantaneous velocity. So the formula for instantaneous velocity is equal to delta x over delta t as the limit of delta t approaches 0. Or in short, kung baka natatakot kayo sa equation na yan, okay, ang instantaneous velocity with this symbol, yung average ay laging may AV, ang instantaneous ay yung V lang, so that's equal to dx over dt. So that means we will get the first derivative of the equation of the position. Okay lang yung ibig sabihin ng equation na yan. So that is the first derivative of the position. Okay, so ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng instantaneous velocity? So, halimbawa, meron akong particle from point A to point B. Okay, halimbawa, meron akong particle from point A going to point B. Ayan. So, syempre, displacement yan. At saka, displacement yan, meron siyang direction and magnitude. So, pwede natin kunin yung kanyang average velocity. Tama ba? Pwede natin kunin yung kanyang average velocity. Ang average velocity, class, ay di ba, so that's delta x over delta t. So that is x final minus x initial over t final minus t initial. Ayan. Ang kino-consider lang ng average is mula umpisa hanggang matapos. So hindi tinitignan ng average kung ano ang nangyayari dito sa loob o anong nangyayari dito sa path. So halimbawa, mula dito sa initial point going to this point, nag-travel siya ng 2 hours. 2 hours. Okay, nag-travel siya ng 2 hours. Tapos nagpahinga siya ng 3 hours. O sabihin na natin ito ay 10 kilometers. Okay? Ayan. After niya nagpahinga ng 3 hours, nag-travel na naman siya ng 4 hours. Tapos nagpahinga na naman siya ng 1 hour. Tapos nag-travel siya, tinapos niya na into 5 hours. Okay? Ano ang kanyang average velocity? So, kanyang average velocity is 10 kilometers over the total time. So, that will be, even yung pag-stop niya is i-consider mo. So, meron tayong 3, kahit mabagal siya, mabilis. 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15. So, 15 hours. So, yan yung kanyang average velocity. So, hindi nakikita ng average velocity kung ano ang nangyayari sa gitna. Ang concern lang niya is yung initial at saka final. Since ang initial niya nandito, tapos ang final niya 15 hours and 10 kilometers, so yun lang concern or nakikita ng average velocity. Okay? So, kung ano ang nangyayari in between the path, hindi yun mai-interpret ng average. Ang magi-interpret nun yung instantaneous. Ang instantaneous is siya ang magsasabi at any point in time kung ano talaga yung iyong velocity. Nakuha niyo ba yung difference? Average, ang concern niyang lang niya ay initial and final. Ang instantaneous is yung path talaga or at that particular time or moment, yun yung nakikita ng average, instantaneous velocity. Okay, Jana, I'm waiting for your message. Okay. 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 So, yun. Okay, class. So, halimbawa, nagda-drive kayo. Tapos, bigla kayong napatingin doon sa speedometer ninyo. Siyempre, may makikita kayong rate doon, yung speed ninyo. Yung bang nakita nyo doon, is that average or instantaneous? Okay. So, tama ka dyan. It's instantaneous. Kasi right there and there, yun yung speed or yun yung velocity mo eh. So, that's why that is instantaneous. Kasi ang average, ang tinitignan niya lang is yung initial and final. Hindi niya nakikita yung ano ang nangyayari along the path. Kaya yung mga nakikita ninyo, halimbawa, nagda-drive and then napatingin sa speedometer, yung reading ng speedometer is always the instantaneous velocity or speed. Okay? Okay. So that is the instantaneous velocity. Okay, class. So it's very important. Take note of this. It is very important when we say speed or velocity, automatic, we mean instantaneous. Masyado kasi mahaba yung word na instantaneous. Okay? Pag sinabi natin yung term na speed or velocity, we are talking about instantaneous values. Pero, kung ang ibig mong sabihin ay average speed or velocity, kailangan mong i-attach yung word na average doon sa speed or sa velocity. Kaya ang v, which is the velocity, is an instantaneous quantity. Kung gusto mo ng average, you need the word or the subscript average. Pag sinabi mong speed, we mean the instantaneous speed. And kung gusto mo ng average speed, you need to attach the word average. We no longer speak of instantaneous, the word instantaneous. Pag sinabi na nating velocity, automatic, that is instantaneous quantity. Or pag sinabi nating speed, that is already an instantaneous quantity. Okay? Remember that one. Kasi what if tinanong ko kayo, what is the speed or what is the velocity? Automatic, I am asking for the instantaneous value. Okay? So, that is the instantaneous velocity. Do you have any question? Okay, meron pa akong hindi nasasabi. Ano ang instantaneous speed? I'm not sure if it's here. Okay, hindi niya sinabi. Okay, so what is the instantaneous speed? Okay. Unlike average speed and average velocity, they do not have any relation. Okay? Wala silang direct relation, yung average speed at saka average velocity. Pero pagdating sa instantaneous, okay class, ang instantaneous speed is actually the magnitude of the instantaneous velocity. Wala lang siyang direction. Okay? Speed or instantaneous speed is the magnitude of the instantaneous velocity. You don't need to compute for it. As long as you know the instantaneous velocity, you know the instantaneous speed. Just get the magnitude of that velocity, disregard the direction, that will be your instantaneous speed. So example, ang instantaneous velocity is negative 2 meters per second. But I am asking you, what is the speed? Ang sagot nun ay, if we are given that the velocity is negative 2 meters per second, but I am not asking for the velocity, I'm asking for the speed. So what is the speed? Okay, so it's just 2. Tama ka, Joshua. So the answer is just 2 meters per second. Just remove the direction. That will be your speed. Okay? Nag-gets nyo naman ba yung lesson natin? I want to start that poll. Kasi gusto ko lang malaman, baka kasi nahihiya lang kayo. So habang sine-check ninyo yan, ang poll natin. So let's proceed to an example of instantaneous velocity. So I'll just write, maghuhula na lang ako ng problem. Okay, so tatanggalin ko muna yung yung video natin and let me view my ayan para nakikita ko lang ng maayos yung sinusulat ko. So, punta na lang kayo, view nyo na lang yung aking video. Yes, Jim, yes, that's 40 squared. May nagtatanong if na ma-upload ba yung session natin. Kagaya ng sabi ko, automatic after kung in-end yung session na to, yung recording natin ay mapopost doon sa conference. So kung gusto ninyong i-view yung napag-usapan natin today, pwede kayong pumunta doon sa conference at i-check nyo yung presentation. Nandun yung recording, doon mapupunta yung recording na to pag na-end na natin yung conference natin. Okay. Okay, so let's have this, let's continue. May mga question ba? Yung nagsabing with question. Okay. Ano yung question ninyo? Pwede nyo i-message sa akin privately dito. Kung nahihiya kayong i-post siya sa public chat. Okay, class. Okay lang. Hindi ko na masasabihin yung pangalan ninyo. But I will answer it dito kasi malay nyo kasi lahat din naman marami pala kayong kaklase na you have the same question. Kaya kung pwede, yung mga may question, kung naiya kayong mag-question, you can message me privately. Dito rin sa conference natin. Before we can proceed to this example. Ayan. So,
Pero yung sa instantaneous po, i-derive muna yung sa equation po.
yes. Yes, tama ka. Yes, John. Correct. So sinasagutan mo na. Okay.
Hindi pa po ba?
Hindi, okay lang naman. Okay lang naman mag-advance. Tinatry ko lang din kasi nga hintayin yung mga klase yung magtanong. Kasi nun sa poll natin may nagsabing may question sila dalawa. Pero anyway, it's okay, John. You can proceed. Ayan, parang hindi pa sila nagtatype. So anyway, so ito yung example natin for right now. A particle is moving as the equation x is equal to 4t squared minus 2t plus 6 where wrong spelling. where x is in meter and t is in second. Okay? Determine A. What is the position of the particle after 2 seconds? And B. What is the average velocity from 3 seconds to 5 seconds? And C. What's the instantaneous velocity at t is equal to 2 seconds? Okay? So, yung first question, letter A. What is the position? Di ba ang position natin ay x? Yeah. So, what is the value of x when t is 2? So, siyempre, substitute lang natin. 4 times 2 squared minus 2 times 2 plus 6. So, the answer is 416 minus 16, 22, 18. 18? Okay, tama. So, 18 meters. Di ba basic? Okay, next. Letter B. What is the average velocity? Nagmo-move yung aking camera. What is the average velocity? We cannot compute for the average speed. Okay, so what's our problem? Sorry. What's our formula? Average velocity is equal to nagmo-move siya. Delta x over delta t. That's equal to x final minus x initial over t final minus t initial. Do we have t initial, x initial and x final? Wala. Pero meron tayo t initial and t final. But we can find the position using those times, di ba? What's our t initial? The t initial is, of course, yung nauna. So that is 3 seconds. So therefore, what is x initial? So we'll just substitute t dun sa equation natin. So that will be 4 times 3 squared minus 2 times 3 plus 6. So that's equal to 36. Tama ba? 36 meters. And then you compute. T final is 5 seconds. So what is x final? So that's 4 times 5 squared minus 2 times 5 plus 6. Okay. 96 meters. Yeah. So therefore, what's our V average? So V average is final. So that's 96 minus 36 over 5 minus 3. So that's equal to okay, 30 meters per second. Ayan. So tama ka dyan. So 30 meters per second. Okay, may question? Okay, wala. Okay, letter C. Next. What is the instantaneous velocity at t is equal to 2 seconds? Okay, so what's our formula for instantaneous? That's dx over dt. Tama ba? So ang gagawin nyo lang is kukunin nyo yung first derivative. So i-derive nyo lang. So that's equal to 8t minus 2. But the time is 2 seconds. So ang gagawin nyo lang is isa-substitute nyo. So that's 8 times 2 minus 2. So that's equal to 14 meters per second. Ayan. Okay, so tama ka din dyan. My question? Okay, so let's have a short activity. So what if, dito ko na lang susulat sa paper ko. My equation is x is equal to 40 cubed minus 60 plus 4. Ayan. Okay, letter A. What is x at t is equal to 1 second? B, V average between 2 seconds and 4 seconds. And C, velocity when t is equal to 3 seconds. Ayan. Can you answer that? Okay, so ang equation natin is 40 cubed minus 60 plus 4. Okay, and then what's the position after 1 second? And then the average velocity after 2 seconds, between 2 seconds and 4 seconds. And then what is the instantaneous velocity at 3 seconds? Teka. John, di ba masyado mataas yung A? This is only one. Yan ako magsulat ng 1. That's only 1 second.
Akala ko po kasi 4. Sorry.
That's only 1 second. So that's like 4 minus 6 plus 4. Okay, 106. And then squared 12 times 3 squared minus 6. 102. Okay, so tama. Okay, Jimwell, you're correct. John, si John, tinapos niya na. Okay, so you'll follow the same method. Okay, tama ba? For letter A, all you need to do is substitute 1 dito sa equation natin. So you will get 2 meters. Ayan. And then for V average, you get the position X for 2 seconds and 4 seconds. Kagaya ng ginawa ko dito. And then just equate them dito. Ayan. So, yun. So if you will compute them, the answer is 106 meters per second. And then for letter C, you will just derive. So magdi-derive lang kayo. Ay derive nyo lang ito. So that is 12t squared minus 6. And then apply 3 seconds. So you will get 102. Yeah. Okay. So let's have one more. Ito, gusto ko to. Titingnan natin. What if given ko ay 2 cosine 3t plus e raised to t. Ayan. So let's say that is the equation. Then calculus-based tayo, di ba? Letter A. What is the position when t is equal to 2 seconds? B. What's the average from 2 seconds to 3 seconds? And C. What is the instantaneous velocity at 2 seconds? Ayan. Okay, so letter A. X is equal to T, 2 times cosine 3 times 2 plus e raised to 2. So what's the value of X? Okay. Okay class. Meron kayo kailangan tandaan. Ha? Dito lang sa part na to. Pag meron tayong ganito, you see to it that your calculator is in radian mode. Okay? It should not be in degree mode. It should be in radian mode. So that should be, you convert your, ano ba to? Shift mode 4. So dapat naka-radian kayo. Clear ko muna. Shift mode 4. So then you got 2 times cosine 6 plus e raised to 2. Ayan. So the answer is 9.31 meters. Okay? Okay, ganun din naman sa letter B. What's our V average? Ayan. So what's our, if our time is 2 seconds, nasolve na natin. So that's 9.31. When t is equal to 3 seconds, that therefore x is equal to 2 times cosine 3 times 3 plus e raised to 3. So x is equal to 18.26. So therefore, V average is equal to 18.26 minus 9.31 over 3 minus 2. So the answer is 8.95 meters per second. Tama ba? Tama ba ako, John? Tama ba yung computation ko?
Kasi yung pa yung naglalaro.
Kaso solve na natin yung una. 2 seconds. Kaya kinopya ko na lang. Yung pangalawa, 3 seconds. 2 cosine 9. So that will be 2. Nakita nyo ba yung calcio? 2 cosine 3 times 3 plus shift exponential 3. So it's 18.26 minus 9.31. Ayan. 8.95. Ay, minute. Ayan. Okay, and then may time, wala na time. So last one is C. You just derive that. So V is equal to dx over dt. So that's equal to, what's the derivative? That's 2 negative sine 3t chain rule times 3. Tama ko. Plus e raised to t. Derivative ng cosine is negative sine. Then chain rule. Ayan. Yeah. And then you just apply. So V is equal to negative 6 sine of 3t plus et. Or that's equal to negative 6 sine of 3 times 3 plus e raised to 3. So that's equal to sine 9 times negative 6 plus shift e raised to 3. But negative 17 yun sa akin. Ay, but 17.61 meters per second.
E raised to 2 po yata.
E raised to... Ay, oh, sorry. Dapat pala 2 to. 2. Wait. Negative 6 sine 6 plus shift e raised to 2. Okay, 9.07 meters per second. Ayan. So, yun yung sagot. So, ayan. So, that's it for today. So, after kung in-end ito, you can check the conference para ma-view nyo yung lesson natin for today. Anyway, na-check ko na yung attendance. So, kung may question kayo, you can message me. Kung wala, ayan. So, good day. Good day, class. We'll continue next meeting. Next lesson will be the acceleration. Speed, average and instantaneous acceleration. Okay? So, that's it for today. Good morning and